Hey there. You're watching the Jessa Channel on YouTube. I'm Jessa, and today I am here with just Jessa. I'm trying a new method of recording these to give some visual interest to them. So it's not just a big screen of me talking. And I have some different overlays that are going to help keep me on track as far as what I need to talk about. Otherwise, I'll just ramble and ramble and ramble and ramble and ramble. Okay, um, so I am here to talk to you about a number of things today. Many of you have noticed some of the changes that have happened here on the channel, and I've been really proud of those changes. And I wanted to tell you how they've come about and what you can expect from the channel. Just give you some of what's going on behind the scenes. Just you and I getting to sit and talk. So if you have some tea or have something that you want to drink, then please, I'll wait. I'll wait. Go get it. Back yet? Okay, just a minute. Okay. Oh, hi, baby. It's my little kitty in his basket. I'd pick him up. Do you want me to pick you up? He's like, don't you dare. Okay. Back? Okay, good. All right. So these are the things that I'm going to be talking to you about. I'm going to be talking to you about the changes that have come up, the channel philosophy, what it's like working with indie devs, and a bunch of other stuff. So why don't we just get to it? All right, so let's try and change our overlay. Let's see if it's going to work. I hope it works. La la la. Otherwise, I'm going to look like a big fat fool. All right. Yay! It's so cool. By the way, I'm using a program called OBS Studio. It is free. It is very well done. And it's I am going to be streaming at some point in the future, and I will definitely be using this program to create a more professional look. So, first thing up is channel focus. So, I don't think I've ever talked to you directly about this, what the focus of the channel is about, but I don't consider myself to be a gamer. I don't consider myself to be a Let's Player. He's stretching. He looks so cute. I would move the webcam so you could see him, but it would just be all shaky and everything while I'm trying to handhold it. So if you want to see pictures of him, you'll have to follow me on Twitter. There's a right down there. But yeah, I frequently post kitty pictures on Twitter, shamelessly so. Anyway, I don't consider myself to be a gamer. I don't consider myself to be a Let's Player. If I would say what I am, I'm a storyteller and a role player. And I use games as a way to be able to get those stories and role plays out of my head and out of my heart and on to you. If I were to sum up my channel, I would say that the purpose of my channel is to help us all get off the planet. And what I mean by that is, do you remember when you were a little girl or a little boy, maybe you were playing with your trucks, or you were playing with crayons or dolls or whatever, or later on, you got into a really good story or really good book. There is a moment that when you're really involved in something creative or experiencing a story where time stops and you can, your brain just sort of, all the chatter shuts off, all the outside noise just shuts off, and for a while you get a vacation from the planet. You get off the planet. Basically, what I have always wanted to do, and why I started the channel, was I wanted a way to help myself and others, if they wanted to come along with me, to get off the planet for just a little break. Every day you could come to the channel. You'd had a hard day at school, at work, or maybe you'd had a great day, but you just want some time to yourself, just to have a moment of relaxation. And hey, looky, come here, baby boy. He's like, okay, this is not really how what I planned. Okay. Hi, little boy. This is my baby boy. He's sweet. I love him. His name is Luke. You call him Lukester, or Lukester Badukester, or Mauser. He's he's an indoor cat, but they do have a little screened porch area that they can play. And they were outdoor cats for a little while before I realized that was not going to be very doable. And he would he bring in hummingbirds and stuff. So I was like, oh, no. No, not gonna happen. Anyway, so he was just getting down, so I took the opportunity to grab him and show him to you. I have one other one, Lila, who was just in here yelling at me, and but I don't know where she went. So anyway, so that's basically the channel philosophy. Is I want a place where I can go into a different world or create a story, and the tension releases. Time passes without notice. And when we all come back, we go, oh, that was wonderful. So that's really all the Jessa Channel is about. And I gave a lot of consideration to what name I was going to give the channel. And after a while, I realized that it was just a channel about me. I mean, not about me specifically, but I was taking what was in my heart and my soul and offering up to you. And I wanted to keep it open. I didn't want to call it the Skyrim channel or, Jessa Sims or something like that, because I didn't want it to be tied to one game. And that brings me to what I wanted to talk to you about and what's coming up on the channel. You guys will note while I'm changing the overlay here, you guys will note that there have been a lot of changes on the channel. And those changes have been really thrilling to bring about. And those changes came about because when I was sick a few months back, and many of you guys know this, I had a terrible case of pneumonia, bronchitis. It was whatever it was really bad. And I had a week or more where I couldn't really do anything except be sick and think. And I had been wanting to make changes on the channel, but unsure as to what to do and how it was going to come about. So I began to think about that, and with the help of my husband, who is my mentor, my guide, my number one fan, my support system, he has been with me. The music that you hear at the beginning of every episode and at the end of every episode is his music. And we are huge supporters of each other. I'm the president of his fan club. I mean, if he had one, then I'd be the president of it. Anyway, so I talked to him about what I want to do with the channel, and after some thought, I decided to go and take a look and try to get some help from some mentors. Basically, try and find other people who had become successful with their channels and find out what they were doing. At this time, I went over to the Reddit Let's Play subreddit, and there was a thread, serendipitously, entitled, has anyone famous ever given you advice on YouTube? I'm paraphrasing, but something like that. And someone in there posted that, no, of course, that they hadn't had anyone famous give them advice, but they had gotten a lot of advice from the famous people who had come to Reddit, that particular Let's Play subreddit, to give advice to everyone there. And that person recommended that you just go back and look at their entire subreddit comment history and gather the advice that you needed from that. Just read their many months of insight. And so I did that. while I was recuperating, I read through the advice offered by the following people: by Blitz Kriegsler. It's the last time I'm going to try and say that name. Blitz. C-Top, Dragast, Geek Remix, Northern Lion, who had some old stuff but still quite good, and possibly a few other people. Those are the people I'm thinking about on the top of my head. And I went for hours, just read through everything that they had done as it pertained to Let's Playing. And then I put all of the things that really stuck out to me in some Google Keep notes. And Google Keep is like Post-it notes, online Post-it notes. Great service if you haven't used it already. And I then let it all just sort of sink in and percolate. And then I went back and I read them again. And some things popped out. Some themes popped out. One of the things that I believe Blitz said was, if you have a video or a game you want to play and you post, you look for content on that game on YouTube, if that game already has content on it, it's too late. And this just went bing right in my head. Blitz built his channel by being the first to bring new games to YouTube. Before the game was released, he would get a press key, which I have learned since is a very common thing, and that I, as a YouTuber, am considered to be press, which is really cool. And that he would then, using also really great search engine optimization, which I've been learning a lot about, SEO, would play the game and his video would be first or among the first. And with that great SEO, he would gather the top page or top spot often and bring in a lot of new eyeballs to his channel, and his channel grew. And this really surprised me. And so using that and a lot of other techniques, I began to get to work. Once I could sit at my desk again, I decided that it would be time for me to go out and start to connect with the indie development gaming community. So that brings me to my next cute little overlay. Well, I think it's cute. I don't know if you do, but I do. And a background change. I really enjoyed these aspects of changing things on the fly. It's really neat. And that brings us to indie dev love. Yep. So, armed with this new information that I had about connecting to the indie development community, I discovered something really cool. I discovered that indie developers and Let's Players are two sides of the same coin. Basically, Let's Players, especially storytelling role player Let's Players like myself, are people who are working at home in a vacuum on a creative endeavor and trying to put their heart into this, literally aspect of themselves into it and put it out into the world. And they're using games, right? Game developers are at home usually, or in a vacuum environment with themselves, possibly a team, but a lot of them are just working on their own. And they're doing the same thing. They're trying to put their heart and their idea into something, and they work on it for years. It takes years to write a game. Well, for the most part, it takes years to write a game. And they're doing this in this vacuum, and then Let's Players connect with their stuff. They put their heart and soul into the game, and they put the game out there, and I discovered that it was a win-win situation. Not only that, I discovered that indie developers, or all the ones I've run into, are really, really awesome people. And this just took the concept of the Jessa Channel, which is something that had been in my heart, but I admit sort of isolated just to me, that I would share with you. And then it opened it up and made it this huge, colorful ball of joy and love and wonder. Wow, it was so great. This just blew the roof right off my head. So I decided that I was going to take my background, and I have a lot of past lives, different things I've done. But one of the things that I've done is I was an administrative assistant for high-level executive. That means CEOs and CFOs and CTOs. And I learned a lot of business skills in that part of my life, that lifetime. So I decided I was going to take all these business skills that I had learned and put them to use with my channel. So I created these emails that were email templates, and I created a logo. And you've also noticed, and you can see it, right down below, that there's an entirely new look for the channel. I have redesigned the entire channel, and no one's really told me what they thought about that. Some people mention it on Twitter, but let me know what you think of the new channel design. It has the same J cursive look that I love so much, and the same circles motif, but I have it took me number of days actually working on it every evening to get everything the way I wanted it. But I wanted it to look sort of watercolory and have different colors that I could use. So I have a folder called Elements that have a bunch of these circles and a color scheme. And the channel has a color scheme. So you can see that now at play on the channel. And there's new thumbnails out and that kind of stuff with a little bit of that watercolory look. So please let me know what you think about the new look for the channel. But in any case, I did that because I wanted to put together a nice logo, a nice email template, and requesting keys for games that were not yet released that I could bring to you on the channel. Well, I spent that time finding the games that I wanted, and then contacting the developers, and then I sat back and I thought, well, maybe one developer might respond, or maybe two, In the grand scheme of YouTube, my channel is growing nicely, but it is not a big channel at all. It's very tiny in the grand scheme of YouTube. So I thought maybe my channel's just going to be too small. So I sent out, I'm approximating 10 emails, I'm guessing, that night. Every developer responded. Blew my mind. They all responded. Some gave me keys on the spot. Some said, I love your channel. I love what you're doing. I will give you a key when the game is ready. It's not ready till the end of the year or whatever it is. But I got a positive response from all of them. Nobody ignored me. And I got put on press releases. And then from then on, the ball just started to roll. And on Twitter, where I am very active, and there's a great game development community there, I've just spent a lot of time getting to know new developers. Through them, I make connections to other developers and other indie dev teams, and now things are just flowing really well. So I discovered, and lots of you noticed this around this time, particularly I'm going to give a shout out to Parker. Hi, Parker. Parker Metz is a real cheerleader for the channel, and he just does a great job. Just like, he gets on Twitter, he's like, yay, Jessa, woo! And he said, I love these indie games. And so that's why you've seen in the last 2 months it's been since I've really put this into effect and developed a plan and worked my plan and saw results that you guys have noticed, the new content they're bringing to the channel. This has so many benefits. One of them being that we get to experience new worlds and new stories. Yay! I get to meet new developers, and this is where we're going to be heading next, upcoming content. But I'm going to be bringing some of those developers to you. You've already seen that happen in one way with the Contradiction interview that just came up last week. That was all because of Twitter and a series of wonderful circumstances that happened that ended up with all of those actors, and all of the actors asking me if I would interview them. When we did Contradiction, I actually tried to get an interview, and I went directly to the the director, Tim Fullen, and I didn't get a response, and I was like, so it was a real treat to have it turn and be 180 degrees and have them asking me for an interview because of all the things that went on Twitter. It was great fun. Anyway, so more of that's going to be happening. I have ideas percolating. But this leads me to upcoming content. So back on with the old lady sunglasses. Can't see anything without them. I'm actually getting new glasses this week. We're going in, get my eye appointment. So I'm looking forward to having some new glasses. That'll be fun. Okay, so yay! So that brings me to upcoming content. The last thing that I was having difficulty with the channel was how long it took for me to finish series and how I started to feel the same old, same old. Drudgery is a word that's coming to mind, but that's way too strong a word. It was like, but let's just say this. I started my channel on November 11th, 2012. Some of you have been with me since not quite that day, but maybe that month. um, and I started out with Skyrim, with Mala's story. And I'm very happy with this. I would not have changed it. It was a great way for me to, it was like a laboratory of learning, let's playing, and getting to be comfortable on the microphone. I mean, if you go back and look at my early content, I did my darndest to make that content as good as possible. And I knew it was going to be crappy anyway. I just knew it. I knew that I was going to put out bad content because you just don't know how else you're supposed to learn, you know? So hopefully I've improved. Anyway, so that content, though, that series, Mala series, it went on for 3 years. It ended in 2015. It started in 2012 and it ended in 2015. That's 3 years. That's a long time. That's a long time for a series. And in the world of YouTube, which is a quick moving place, it's like 14 lifetimes long. And as a result, I got some really dedicated fans who stuck out with me throughout that whole thing, would pop in and pop out. But it wasn't really great for the channel growth. In fact, the thing that was the most helpful for the channel growth in retrospect was The Sims 4, which I never even played much of. But I was able to get content out about The Sims 4 before it released, not knowing anything I know now. I was just plain good luck and happening to be on Mod The Sims, and I just thought this is really interesting, so I made a video of it. I wasn't even thinking about it. And that my top video, which is way over hundreds of thousands of views, I don't know, 200,000 or more, is for a Sims 4 video. But anyway, the point is, content on YouTube, if you look at any series on YouTube, the first episode of it is large. The next episode drops off by half or more, and then it drops off until it reaches kind of a basic steady point. Like, for example, Halcyon 6. That's a great series. A lot of you didn't watch it, I think, because it had pixelated graphics. Not something I often do on the channel, and not something I was attracted to as well either. It ended up being goofy fun, and we had so much fun with the role play. And one of you gave me some awesome artwork, which I'm actually going to put on screen right now. I think I'll put it there. That had some great artwork with Captain Jessa, and I love how she got the afro. Look at that. She got the afro. That's great. So anyway, I want to thank you so much. I apologize, I'm forgetting your name off the top of my head, but the wonderful person who did this artwork, thank you so much for doing that. I'm putting your name on screen right now. Anyway, yeah, that was a great little role play experience. So, but that was one where the first episode was, how many hundreds of views, then the next episode half that, and then towards the end of that series, which was only 7 or 8 9 episodes, I don't remember how long, not very long, it was very few views, because that's just the nature of YouTube, especially for a game like that that's very different to what people are used to seeing on the channel. They might go look at it and go, oh, I don't know what that is, I'll just skip it, So what's going to be coming up in the channel are: 1, shorter series; 2, as has been thus far, more indie games. Some indie games, depending on, I'm learning a lot about which games do well on my channel and which games do not so well. If I feel like I can make a series out of it, which is going to be sustainable as far as your interaction with it. If you guys are excited about it, and you'll tell me you're excited about it by viewing it, by the watch time, how long you view it, the comments you leave, those are all the indicators that let me know that you guys want more of this. I'm determining which series are longer term playlist series and which series are first looks. Song of Seven is a series that we just focused on, did a first look on that. And usually for first looks, I do 1 or 2 episodes on a first look. I like 2 episodes because it gives us a little bit of time to get into the game, but out committing to playing the whole entire game. So some of those I'll be doing that way. Some of those I'll be doing longer series. Even with series like Skyrim, which I've been doing from the beginning, Kinlan's story is something that I wanted to finish. I know what her story is. Well, I know how I want it to end, more or less. And how it gets there. That's the whole role play part that I don't know. But in any case, even with season 2, I have a distinct beginning and end for season 2. I know how long it's going to take to do it. And, there may be some things that happen in the middle that increase it, a couple episodes or whatever. But for the most part, I know where I'm trying to take Kenlan to, how we're going to get there. Having this focus of beginning and end, or playlists that are no longer than 20 episodes or so, keeps fresh content coming. It keeps new people coming to the channel. The channel is growing very well now. I just passed 8,000 subscribers last week, and now it's up to 8,100 something. So, there's a good number of people coming in. The more people that come into the channel, the more the channel grows, and the more I'm able to do this in a relaxed, effortless manner with ease. In other words, it's always work to do the channel, but the more that the channel is growing, the more easily I can do it without any kind of worry of, I need to make money for this, or I need to pay for that, or my husband needs to help me with this, or that kind of, those kind of things I can let go of. So yeah, I think that's it. Let's go back just for fun and do a little close on my first overlay here. We'll put the first one back up, and we will do, did I do this? Yeah. Do I? Yay! Okay, so that's basically it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the new channel design. Let me know what you think about the new indie focus on indie games. Even though the games are indie games, they're always going to be games that are appropriate for families, A, for me, B, in other words, we're not going to play creepy games or horror games like we ran into that problem with Kathy Rain. That was not fun. That was not fun. I'm not going to be afraid to cancel a series if it's not fitting the channel aesthetic, because with working with indie games, sometimes, like with Kathy Rain, it starts out seeming like it's going to be this type of game, and then it turns out to be a different game. There's just no way I can know about that just because we all haven't played the game yet. Nobody hasn't been released yet. But for the most part, we're going to be sticking with fun games, creative games, storytelling games, role-playing games, and games that help us all of us, get off the planet just for a little break. All right. So that's this Jessa episode. Let me know what you think about my simple little overlay. I'd like it to have a little bit more going on, but baby steps. Baby steps. Okay, so yeah. As always, thank you so much for watching.